in the stories we tell. If you liked the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. My elder half-sister was designated by His Majesty to become the crown princess. Before the wedding day, the imperial physician came to the manor to check her pulse as a formality. She then asked me to hide behind the curtain and take her place for the examination. Only later did I discover she was already pregnant, which was why she had me substitute for her. One day, the truth was exposed. My elder sister knelt before father, weeping as she accused me. She claimed that I had been having an affair with our cousin, and when she discovered it, I tried to silence her. She said that cousin and I knocked her unconscious and ruined her reputation, which was why I substituted for her pulse examination. Father was furious. He gave me a cup of poisoned wine and had cousin beaten to death, his body thrown into the mass burial ground. Meanwhile, my elder sister quietly aborted the child and still married into the Eastern Palace with a grand 10-mile red wedding procession, becoming the crown princess. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day the imperial physician came to the manor for the examination. I looked at my elder sister standing there so arrogantly. We're both daughters of the Shen family. What she can do, I can do too. Little sister, these past few days, elder sister caught a cold. I'm afraid the imperial physician will discover my cold constitution makes it difficult to conceive. If His Majesty and the Empress find out, I fear they won't be pleased, and my position as crown princess will be hard to maintain. Little sister, could you take the pulse examination in my place? With the curtain between us, the imperial physician certainly won't notice. It's all for the Shen family. Little sister, please help your elder sister. My elder sister, Margaret Shen, looked at me. Her mouth spoke of deep sisterly affection, but her eyes were full of calculation. I thought back to my previous life. I too had believed my sister's words and substituted for her pulse examination, helping her deceive the imperial physician. Calculating the time, she was already 2 months pregnant by then. In my previous life, I fell into her scheme. For the benefit of the clan, I helped her keep her position as crown princess. But in this life, I want to see whether father would still be willing to sacrifice one daughter to preserve the family's honor without me covering for her. After all, the one who lost her virtue and reputation is her. I extended my wrist, revealing a burn mark. The tender new skin was bright red, still oozing blood. I wiped my tears. Elder sister, I'm afraid I cannot help you. This morning while preparing tea I carelessly burned my hand. If the imperial physician sees this scar, how can the future crown princess have a flawed body? My sister turned pale with rage and shouted at me. Useless. You can't even do such a simple task. Just making tea and you burn yourself. How will you marry into a noble family in the future? My eyes reddened. Elder sister, please ask someone else to help. I pointed to Jade, the maid who serves elder sister closely. Jade's build and complexion both resemble elder sisters, and she's been well cared for. Having her substitute for the pulse examination surely won't be wrong. My sister waved her handkerchief. Fine then, you're truly worthless, Jade, come with me. I watched their retreating figures and smiled faintly. In my previous life, when sister's pregnancy was exposed, Jade was also discovered to be 2 months pregnant. Calculating the time, she must already be 1 month along now. Cousin Ethan Lin was naturally flirtatious. With his handsome appearance and smooth tongue, he had my sister completely infatuated, making her believe he was devoted to her alone. Little did she know, he had touched every maid around her as well. Jade lifted her head proudly. Being able to serve the eldest miss was her greatest pride. After all, in the future she would follow the eldest miss into the Eastern Palace. If she caught the crown prince's eye, even as a lowly concubine she could bear children and raise heirs. Truly a carp transforming into a dragon. Behind the curtain, a wrist as white as jade extended out. The imperial physician placed his fingers to check the pulse. After just a moment, his breath changed drastically. Please, eldest miss, extend your other hand for examination. Jade switched hands. The imperial physician checked the pulse again, then his face turned deathly pale as he stepped back several paces. This matter, the eldest miss is already with child. The room fell silent as death. What did you say? Mother cried out. The crown prince's wet nurse always accompanied the imperial physician. Hearing this, she stepped forward. Madam, the young miss hasn't yet married. How can she be pregnant? This matter, we must immediately report to His Majesty and the Empress. My sister's expression changed drastically. She pulled back the curtain and rushed out. No, nursemaid, this is all a misunderstanding. Just now, the imperial physician examined not me, but my maid, Jade. Recently I caught a cold. Fearing His Highness the Crown Prince would worry, I had my maid take the examination in my place. I never expected her to be that kind of person, causing me to lose all face. This wretched maid dared to carry on behind my back, losing her virtue with someone. Guards, drag her out and beat her to death immediately. A mere unmarried maid daring to become pregnant. How is she worthy of serving me? This is utterly disgraceful. Quickly, drag her out. Jade staggered and fell from behind the curtain, kneeling prostrate on the ground, clutching tightly at my sister's long skirt. Eldest miss, save me. Young Master Lin forced me. I wasn't willing. Miss, please save me. My sister kicked her away with one foot and had her dragged outside. Jade was gagged and hauled into the courtyard. I watched coldly as my sister discarded Jade. In my previous life when my sister harmed me, Jade had contributed no small effort. This time, I want her to taste the feeling of being abandoned as well. Mother stepped forward, smiling ingratiatingly at the wet nurse. It's just a misunderstanding. Margaret is the future crown princess, the legitimate eldest daughter of our Shen family. Everyone in the capital knows this. The girl is both beautiful and has been carefully raised. Otherwise, why would Her Majesty the Empress choose her as daughter-in-law? The wet nurse remained unmoved. Then please have the imperial physician examine the eldest miss again. To avoid further misunderstandings, this time there's no need for a curtain. Examine her directly. Imperial physician Chu is a veteran official who once served the Empress. There should be no problem. What does Madam think? Mother was drenched in sweat. Of course there's no problem. Please, imperial physician, examine her again. But my sister's face had turned deathly pale. No, mother, perhaps we should wait a few days until I've recovered from the cold, before the examination. Imperial physician Chu disagreed. The eldest miss is the future crown princess. If there's anything wrong with her health, that is the responsibility of the Imperial Medical Bureau. I will certainly nurse Miss Shen's body back to health. Madam can rest assured. I stepped forward and also advised. Elder sister, Imperial physician Chu is of high virtue and esteemed reputation, with profound medical skills. Please let him examine you quickly. Recovering your health soon is what matters most. The wedding ceremony cannot be delayed. My sister's face grew paler and paler. I continued. Elder sister, don't worry. Jade dared to do such a thing. For the sake of the Eastern Palace's dignity, the wet nurse certainly won't spread this outside. Elder sister was simply deceived by her. Before I could finish, my sister slapped me hard across the face, her voice sharp as she cut off my words. I am the legitimate eldest daughter of the Prime Minister's manor, the future crown princess. What right does a lowly illegitimate daughter have to speak? I clutched my swollen, reddened cheek, tears brimming in my eyes. My sleeve slipped down, revealing the burn on my wrist. Elder sister is angry, because I wouldn't take the pulse examination in your place. But I didn't do it intentionally. It's only because my wrist is injured that I couldn't help you. Moreover, everyone knows that elder sister is the strictest person. All the maids and matrons in your courtyard obey you completely. How could I have imagined that Jade, elder sister's personal maid, could do such things with cousin? The implication was clear. The Prime Minister's manor was as heavily guarded as an impenetrable fortress, and my sister's courtyard even more so, like an iron barrel. Cousin was an outside male. How could he easily approach my sister's personal maid? Moreover, to carry on in secret and become pregnant. She was the mistress. How could she be completely innocent? The wet nurse's expression changed. Please, eldest miss, come inside. If today's matter isn't clarified, this old servant cannot make a report. Let's not waste any more time. If the young miss is truly unwell, this old servant can also report back to the crown prince and request additional medicinal herbs to nourish your body. My sister was half supported, half coerced by the wet nurse to sit down, her wrist held firmly. She was both frightened and terrified, struggling frantically. No, I am the future crown princess. Who dares force me? You're merely a wet nurse beside the crown prince, just a servant. How dare you lay hands on me? I tugged at father's sleeve beside me, gently advising. Father, please quickly persuade elder sister. If she angers the wet nurse and this reaches Her Majesty the Empress's ears, how will our Shen family explain ourselves? Father saw my sister's behavior, and his expression immediately changed. A father knows his child best. He had already sensed something was wrong. He smiled stiffly, trying to mediate. Imperial Physician Chu, my daughter is frightened. Perhaps we could postpone the examination until tomorrow. After all, one day sooner or later won't make much difference. Then he had someone present a heavy pouch of silver. The wet nurse weighed the pouch in her hand, saying with satisfaction, "Then tomorrow this old body will report back to the Crown Prince and Her Majesty the Empress." After speaking, she left with the imperial physician. Seeing no outsiders remained, father slammed the table and shouted, "Wretched daughter, confess the truth immediately." My sister's face turned ashen. With a thud, she knelt prostrate before father, tears streaming down. "Father must take charge for your daughter." Father was startled. "Margaret, what are you doing?" My sister's tears flowed freely. She shook her head continuously, her body trembling as if about to collapse. "Your daughter has been defiled by another. I'm already 2 months pregnant. Now only death can preserve the family's reputation." Mother screamed. "What are you saying? Have you gone mad?" I cried out in shock. Our Prime Minister's manor isn't a place just anyone can enter. Since participating in the Crown Princess selection half a year ago, elder sister has never stepped outside. Who exactly violated elder sister? Elder sister, just speak up. Father will certainly take charge for you. My sister covered her face with her handkerchief. It was cousin. He was studying in the front courtyard study hall. Using the excuse of looking at books, he came to the library when I happened to be reading there as well. Taking advantage of no one being around, he violated me. Your daughter originally intended to die and be done with it. But while my death would be easy, what of the Shen family's honor? That's why I wanted to explain everything clearly to father, so that no other sisters in the clan would be harmed in the future. Your daughter was terrified beyond measure, not knowing what to do, which is why I didn't dare speak the truth. Now my monthly courses are 2 months late. I fear I'm already carrying cousin's child. Father raised his hand and slapped her hard. Wretched girl. Doing such shameful things, you still have the face to cry. My sister fell to the ground, clutching at father's robe. Father, save me. This isn't Margaret's fault. It's little sister's. She frequently met cousin secretly in the library. Cousin must have mistaken me for her, which is how this disaster happened. That day I was wearing the very dress little sister gave me, exactly the style she often wears. At dusk when the sky was dark, cousin surely mistook one person for another. What a performance of shifting blame onto others. I clutched my chest, stepping back repeatedly. Little sister has always been respectful toward elder sister. Why would you harm me? Everyone in the manor knows that from the day cousin first stepped through our doors, he fell in love with elder sister at first sight. Gifts for you filled the entire courtyard. He never once glanced at me. How could he be secretly meeting with me? That dress was made for me by mother 2 months ago. You said you liked the fabric, so I gave it to you. Though I had only that one new outfit, since elder sister wanted it, how could I refuse? I could only present it with both hands. I never imagined it would become evidence today that I harmed you. I know elder sister doesn't like me. Since childhood, all clothing has been what you chose first, with leftovers coming to me. You once said that my very birth stole away father's favor. But new jewelry, new clothing. Which time wasn't it you who chose first before my turn came? I've never complained. I know elder sister is the most brilliant legitimate daughter in the clan, cultivated with the entire family's devoted efforts, but elder sister, I too am a virtuous daughter. From childhood I studied books and learned proper etiquette, never daring to be lazy, much less daring to face outside males. Every time you met cousin you used me as an excuse. Now that you've done wrong, you want to push me to bear the guilt in your place. Do you intend to force me to my death? You've never lacked for maids. If cousin truly mistook one person for another, why didn't your maids know? Did they hide it without reporting, or did you deliberately send them away to facilitate your secret meetings with cousin? Father, I too am your flesh and blood. I beg you to investigate thoroughly and return my innocence. As soon as I finished speaking, I knelt before father, tears streaming down like strings of pearls. An uncle from the clan stepped forward. I find the second miss speaks very reasonably. A young lady of noble status, surrounded by numerous servants, how could she be so easily violated? If she truly was assaulted, all those servants should be beaten to death. Jade was beaten nearly to death and dragged in, along with a string of maids and servants from my sister's courtyard, all forced to kneel on the ground. Father shouted loudly, If any of you dare speak a single false word, you'll be beaten to death on the spot. Jade's body trembled violently. She knelt on the ground. Master, spare my life. The eldest miss and young Master Lin met secretly. Each time, servants were ordered to keep watch outside the library. If anyone approached, we'd send word and young Master Lin would slip out the back door. The child in this servant's belly was also at the eldest miss's behest. She found it inconvenient herself and feared young Master Lin would be unhappy, so she told me to serve him, saying that after entering the Eastern Palace, this servant would certainly have a good position. But when the matter came to light, the miss blamed everything on this servant. My sister rushed forward, crying and beating Jade. Lies. Clearly it was you, lowly servant, who seduced cousin. You dare to harm me. The other servants dared not speak, only kowtowing and begging. We servants know nothing at all. We only know that whenever young Master Lin came, the eldest miss would drive us servants to the outer courtyard, not allowing us to approach and serve. Once, an old servant merely said one sentence, that an outside male entering the innerters didn't accord with proper etiquette, and was immediately ordered by the eldest miss to be slapped several times. From then on, the old servant never dared say another word. Today, with the wet nurse from the palace visiting the manor, many clan members felt honored and all came to witness. Who would have thought they'd see such a grand drama unfold? Several young ladies from related families who had long been dissatisfied with my sister's behavior finally had cause to speak up. Sister Margaret has always been held up as a model for all sisters in the clan. Who knew that behind the scenes she'd bully her younger sister and carry on with an outside male? This truly brings shame to the family. Exactly. Normally, Vivian is so careful and cautious, always having to watch sister's moods to survive. Yet sister does such filthy things and still wants to pin it on her younger sister. Thank goodness we don't live with her, or who knows how we'd be framed. My sister's face alternated between green and red. Father was furious to the point of madness. He raised his hand and slapped her hard. Wretched woman, you've made the Shen family lose all face. She lunged forward, grasping at father's hand. Father, I'm the future crown princess. If you don't save me and let this matter reach the palace, won't this be deceiving the sovereign? The crown prince has always been fond of me. Father, you know this. As long as we can hide it, the crown prince will never know. I'll still be the crown princess. What exactly do you want? My sister, thinking father had softened, relaxed her heart. Calculation showed on her face. Tonight, find a discreet physician to prescribe an abortion medicine and get rid of the child. Tomorrow when the imperial physician comes, just say I have an illness and it's inconvenient to see people. When the wedding time arrives, petition for an imperial decree to have little sister accompany me into the Eastern Palace as a concubine. Little sister and I look similar. On the wedding night, I'll find a way to have the crown prince spend the night with little sister. By then, the crown prince won't discover anything. I stared wide-eyed. I'm your own younger sister, yet you could devise such a vicious scheme. Wouldn't my entire life be ruined? My sister curled her lip. Being able to make you marry into the Eastern Palace is already a blessing from several lifetimes of cultivation. A concubine's daughter like you, what more could you hope for? I laughed loudly. Elder sister, do you think the crown prince is a fool? He grew up in the palace. What schemes hasn't he seen? You want to deceive him. If this matter leaks even slightly, our entire Shen family will be guilty of deceiving the sovereign. At that point, father's future will also end. I looked at father, my voice cold. Father, are you willing to stake the lives of the entire clan on elder sister's gamble? As a precaution, your daughter has a plan. Father was silent for a long while, finally opening his mouth. Speak then. I calmly looked at my sister kneeling on the ground, as if looking at someone already dead. Report to the Eastern Palace that today an incident occurred in the manor. Elder sister, frightened out of her wits, fell into the water. Cold Kai invaded her body. From now on, she cannot bear children. And I am another daughter of the Prime Minister, willing to marry into the Eastern Palace in elder sister's place. My sister shrieked piercingly. You dare. The position of crown princess is mine. You're just a lowly concubine's daughter. You dare seize what belongs to me. You're dreaming. Looking at that face that had always been so smug, now showing clear panic. I stared fixedly at father. Your daughter will obey father completely. If father agrees with elder sister's plan and stakes the lives of the entire clan for her sake, then let her marry into the palace. Even if your daughter becomes a stepping stone, I won't resent or regret it. But tomorrow the imperial physician will still come. How will our manor conceal things then? The crown prince's selection of a consort, the entire nation watches. Can everyone around the empress all be blind and deaf? Once you step through the palace gates, it's as deep as the sea. One wrong step means eternal damnation. Elder sister, do you think things will still be like before? That someone will still cover for you, but what about the rest of us? The clan members also spoke up in unison. Elder brother, you cannot be soft-hearted. This is the crime of deceiving the sovereign. Exactly. This is no longer just your household's private matter. One mistake means the crime of exterminating 9 generations of the clan. She did such wicked things and still has the face to tell Vivian to bear her guilt. How utterly shameless. A woman with such a vicious heart, how is she worthy of being the Shen family's legitimate eldest daughter? She's made the Prime Minister's manor lose all dignity. Father finally opened his mouth. Summon the physician. Tonight, immediately abort that wicked fetus in her belly. Tomorrow when the imperial physician examines her, there will be no slip-ups. If today's matter leaks even half a word, it will be a catastrophe of clan extermination. Everyone must keep your mouths tightly shut. Mother's eyes reddened. Master, abortion medicine is so harsh. If Margaret truly can never bear children again, what will happen in the future? Father was furious to the extreme. What do you suggest? She should have been drowned in a pig cage and killed long ago. If not for fearing the Eastern Palace's suspicion, do you think I'd spare her dog's life? Once Vivian's betrothal to the Eastern Palace is settled, summon that fine nephew from your mother's family to seek the marriage. Wed this wretched woman to him. The mess your mother's family made, let them clean it up themselves. My sister wailed and shrieked. No, father. I don't want to marry cousin. I'm the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister's manor. How can I marry into such poverty and decline? Father, I'm willing to be a concubine in the Eastern Palace. I beg you to agree. I laughed coldly. Elder sister, are you afraid the crown prince won't discover the truth? You can't have children. You still want to enter the Eastern Palace. Do you intend to destroy the entire Shen family? Father waved his hand and pushed her away. Drag her away and bring the medicine. I watched my sister struggle helplessly, exhaling with satisfaction. For the sake of the clan, father has nothing he cannot discard. So what if she's the legitimate daughter? So what if she's the eldest? In my previous life, I was given a cup of poisoned wine by my own father. In this life, I want Margaret to taste every bit of suffering I endured. Back then, when I begged desperately, my sister's cold expression remains vivid before my eyes. What are you to compete with me? You were born a lowly concubine's daughter, only fit to be my stepping stone. Dying for my sake is already a blessing cultivated from your previous life. Now, I too want her to know what it feels like to be pushed toward death by her own kin. Less than 2 hours after being forced to drink the abortion medicine, my sister miscarried. She rolled on the bed in agony, but the matron father only said coldly, "Eldest miss, endure it. The karma you created, you must swallow the bitterness yourself." Then I personally brought up a bowl of sterilization medicine, steaming hot. Elder sister, drink it while it's hot. It's less bitter when hot. She looked at the medicine bowl in terror, only able to scream. What is this? I answered gently. This is a bowl of sterilization medicine. After drinking it, everything will be over. Elder sister will never be able to have children again. Only then can we deceive the imperial physician tomorrow when he comes to examine you. Otherwise, how can we break off the betrothal with the crown prince? Since elder sister made such a mistake, you can only swallow this bitter medicine yourself to save your own life. She shook her head desperately. No, I won't drink it. I stepped forward, turning to the matrons beside me. Father has instructed that if the eldest miss spills even 1 drop, it will be your fault. You must make sure she drinks it clean, not leaving a single drop. Several matrons immediately rushed forward, holding my sister down firmly. Eldest miss, just drink it quickly. You already did such wicked things before. Now this is the only way. The thick black, bitter medicine was forcibly poured into her mouth. Her mouth was also pinched shut until she couldn't breathe, until not a single drop remained. I also instructed them to watch her, not allowing her to vomit it out. My sister stared at me with resentment. It's you. It must be you who harmed me. You want to steal my position as crown princess, I burst out laughing. Elder sister, half a year ago you participated in the crown princess selection. You became pregnant, clearly knowing you were the future crown princess. Yet still disregarding the fate of the entire clan, you carried on such secret affairs. Did I tell you to meet with others secretly? Did I order you to give yourself? Did I make you pregnant? Or did I invite the imperial physician to examine you? Everything was your own doing. Oh, that's right. Father has already sent people to arrest cousin. Our cousin seems to have been engaged to the young miss of the minister's manor, wanting to climb high and become their noble son-in-law. Whether you can marry into that family is still uncertain. I turned and left. Behind me rang out the sound of smashing objects and Margaret's piercing screams. Ethan, you dare betray me. I will kill you. The next morning, when the imperial physician and the wet nurse from the palace entered the manor, unexpectedly the crown prince also came along. He had heard that something happened yesterday and came specifically to inquire about the details. My sister's face was deathly pale, lying on the bed barely breathing, as if she had just fallen into water and become ill. Yet this morning she was still cursing loudly. I sighed and said to father, "Elder sister looks like this. What if the imperial physician discovers something wrong? These symptoms don't resemble someone who fell into a lake." Father pondered for a moment, then ordered, "Take the eldest miss to the lake and immerse her in the water for 2 hours." The lake water in early morning was freezing cold. My sister had been pampered since childhood. How could she endure such suffering? After less than an hour of immersion, she could barely hold on. Mother pitied her daughter, but father glared and shouted, "If it doesn't look real, when the imperial physician comes in, our entire family will die." The imperial physician came to examine my sister, sighed, and shook his head. "The eldest miss is truly careless. Now cold ki has invaded her 5 internal organs. I don't know what kind of cold poison medicine she drank. In this condition, I fear in the future she won't be able to bear children." The imperial physician's words were like a death sentence. A person who cannot bear children, how can she become crown princess? My sister looked hopefully toward the crown prince. "Your Highness, Margaret was just careless, slipped and fell into the lake. After recovering, I will certainly be able to conceive." But what the crown prince loved wasn't her, but her status as the legitimate daughter of the prime minister's manor. Now that she couldn't bear children, that was a different matter. He turned away silently. Then he noticed me standing to the side, my bearing dignified and graceful. His gaze lingered slightly. "Who is this? Everyone in the capital knows of the Shen family's eldest miss, but few know of the second miss." Father quickly stepped forward. "This is your subject's youngest daughter, Vivian Shen. Since childhood she's been close with her elder sister. Hearing that her sister was ill, she stayed by her side caring for her all night." The crown prince smiled faintly. "Vivian, the prime minister having such a daughter is truly fortunate." Everything fell into place naturally. I appeared at just the right moment. From my previous life, I already knew the crown prince preferred the type of woman who was elegant, understood propriety, not the arrogant and flashy kind. I specifically wore a sky blue brocade dress, adorned only with a jade orchid hairpin and pearl earrings. My refined appearance, like an early autumn chrysanthemum, displayed deep sisterly affection. Everything matched His Highness the Crown Prince's preferences perfectly. The next morning, Father immediately submitted a memorial pleading guilty. The memorial stated that my elder sister unfortunately slipped and fell into the lake, her body damaged. In the future she cannot bear children, unworthy of being crown princess. Respectfully requesting His Majesty to annul the betrothal. The crown prince stepped forward at just the right moment, firmly wanting to maintain the alliance with the Shen family. Memorializing before His Majesty. "If we easily annul the betrothal, wouldn't that make the imperial family appear heartless? Why not have the Shen family's second Miss Mary in her elder sister's place? Your subject has heard that Miss Vivian is also someone who understands propriety, with quick wits, worthy of being crown princess." The emperor had originally intended for the crown prince to marry a daughter of the Shen family. Now that the eldest daughter was no longer suitable, changing to the younger sister was perfectly reasonable. On the day the imperial decree bestowing the marriage arrived at the prime minister's manor, it coincided exactly with the day Ethan came to the manor to seek marriage with my elder sister. For some unknown reason, The Lin family suddenly cancelled the marriage arrangement with the young lady of the minister's manor. Perhaps it was because his legitimate mother had just returned from her maiden home. No matter how much my sister cried and wailed, this marriage was settled. She could only cling to mother, crying. "Mother, why is my dowry so meager?" Father snorted coldly. "You're marrying Ethan. How much more dowry do you want? The dowry was originally prepared for you to marry into the Eastern Palace. Now the one marrying into the Eastern Palace is your younger sister. The 10-mile red wedding procession naturally must be transferred to her. Otherwise, won't people mock us? You did such shameful things. Not expelling you from the manor is already fortunate. Your mother worked hard to prepare, barely scraping together a bit of dowry. What more do you want?" Right at this moment, the imperial decree for my marriage to the crown prince was announced, accompanied by countless bestowed gifts. My sister's eyes turned red, glaring at me fiercely. "It's all because you harmed me to become like this. If you hadn't refused that day, how would I have fallen into such circumstances?" I stepped back, falling from behind the screen. Tears streamed down my cheeks, my voice choked with sobs. "Elder sister, Vivian never competed for your marriage. Please don't hate me." The crown prince heard the sound and hurried over, supporting me with one hand. "Vivian, what happened?" I leaned into the crown prince's embrace, tears glistening. "Your Highness, please advise elder sister. She's misunderstood. She thinks I stole her betrothed, but I truly did nothing at all." I raised my face, my eyes full of dependence as I looked at him. The crown prince softened, looking up at my sister who was glaring viciously. He said coldly, "Vivian is the crown princess designated by me. I want to see who dares touch her." Then he immediately ordered his attendants, "All of you stay to watch over the crown princess. Until her wedding day, if anyone dares bully her, strike without hesitation. This is my command." The attendants respectfully followed close behind me. Pretending to be weak, who doesn't know how? Men of this world, who doesn't like their woman's eyes and attention all focused on themselves? The more I showed dependence, the more he liked it. He wished he could tuck me into his heart. My sister shrieked, completely losing face. "It was her, deliberately. Your Highness the Crown Prince, it was she who harmed me. I never pushed her." I wiped my tears, speaking softly. "Your Highness the Crown Prince, please don't blame elder sister. It's all Vivian's fault. Elder sister never pushed me. I fell on my own." As soon as I finished speaking, my sister grew even more furious, her eyes reddening. "Lowly servant. You still dare harm me. Your heart is truly vicious." Father shouted loudly, "Margaret has been disrespectful. Take her to the ancestral hall to reflect, copy scriptures and pray for blessings. Before her wedding day, she is not permitted to step outside even half a step." Amid my sister's screaming, she was dragged away. That evening I went to the ancestral hall and saw my sister tearing papers all over the floor. "In my previous life, I too was once in this place, forced by you to drink poison medicine, dying with eyes wide open. Back then, my sister also stood beside me, her face smug as she watched my final breaths. Now seeing her kneeling prostrate on the ground, my splendid trailing skirt brushed past the back of her hand. "Elder sister, tomorrow you'll be married, though mother's maiden family has somewhat declined. It's still a prestigious clan after all. Haven't you always admired his scholarly talents? When the time comes, after he passes the imperial examination with honors, perhaps you can even become the wife of the top scholar." Seeing her eyes light up, I smiled. "Guess whether I'm willing to fulfill this for you or not. If I mention a few words to the Crown Prince about cousin's past misdeeds, do you think the Crown Prince might suppress his examination paper to the bottom of the pile forever, never to be used?" Margaret's eyes turned bright red. "You dare. You not only want to harm me to death, you also want to harm cousin. I don't recall ever offending you. Why do you want to harm me?" I looked at her, speaking slowly. "You never harmed me. Then who forced me to take the pulse examination in your place and bear the guilt? Didn't I do all the homework assignments the teacher gave you? When you refused to study and were punished with copying, wasn't it me who copied for you? In the middle of freezing winter, you held the hand warmer while I had to open the window to copy for you, saying the cold would keep me alert and my calligraphy beautiful. My hands cracked from all the copying, yet you said I was a concubine's daughter, born to serve you. Even with cracked skin, you wouldn't let me apply ointment. You say you treated me well, you never harmed me. If I hadn't been prepared early, By now I'd probably have been pushed into the Eastern Palace as a concubine. You want me to be your slave, kneeling at your feet for life. Keep dreaming. She muttered. I'm the legitimate eldest daughter of the Prime Minister's manor, I coldly interrupted. Born into a clan like ours, we're already chess pieces on the board. Do you think father truly loves you? You thought your status as legitimate eldest daughter was a gold medallion of immunity. You're wrong. In father's eyes, anyone who has no value to the clan isn't worth a penny. Whether legitimate or concubine, born, this time the one being discarded, elder sister. She stood stunned. I sat up straight, slowly walking outside. Your dowry is all prepared. 18 red palanquins, elder sister, live well with the auspicious day you chose with your own hands. When Ethan brought people to fetch the bride, everyone was joyfully bustling about. But when they saw the 18 palanquin dowry, his expression immediately darkened. Outside, people gathered to watch the excitement, chattering endlessly. Hey, which daughter of the Prime Minister is getting married today? I heard the legitimate eldest daughter and her cousin had deep feelings, abandoning the position of crown princess to marry a mere scholar. Her head must be broken. She doesn't even want to be the mother of the nation. I heard Ethan is very talented. Talented at what? I see he's only talented at philandering, rolling around in pleasure houses all day. Passing the examination would be strange indeed. Impossible. Then the Shen family's eldest miss must be suffering. I heard she fell into the lake, her body was ruined. She can no longer bear children, which is why she was sent back to her maiden home. Otherwise, why would the Prime Minister Manor's legitimate eldest daughter marry into such a family? Ethan heard these words, his expression growing increasingly dark. After the wedding ceremony, as soon as they entered the bridal chamber, he lifted Margaret's wedding veil and interrogated her harshly. What about her dowry? Also, everyone says she cannot bear children. Is this true or false? Margaret's eyes reddened. You dare ask me? If it weren't for you getting me pregnant, how could I have lost the position of crown princess? Now you turn around and blame me. If the crown prince knew you dared touch someone already designated to be crown princess, he would certainly exterminate the entire Lin family. You destroyed my future, forced me to drink abortion medicine, and then drink sterilization medicine to save my life. All these things who harmed me. Ethan frowned. If she hadn't been proactive, how could I have been moved? How can you blame me? Now that she's married into the Lin family, she must take her husband as heaven, respect her parents, in law, and treat concubines well. Since she cannot bear children in the future, I must certainly take concubines. She is the principal wife. She must teach the concubines' children, raise other children. Margaret screamed. Take concubines. You're just a poor destitute scholar. You dare speak of taking concubines. Before, you vowed you'd have only me for lifetime after lifetime. Yet just married and you already want to take concubines. The two people in the bridal chamber immediately descended into chaos, like chickens flying and dogs barking. On the third day of returning to her maiden home, Margaret returned alone. I heard Ethan personally went to his former fiancée's home, wanting to marry her into his household with principal wife ceremony. Margaret cried and demanded divorce. Father's face was ice cold. Little sister, you're about to marry into the Eastern Palace. The Shen family cannot have any woman bearing the name of divorce. Don't harbor such delusions anymore. Previously, you destroyed your own future for Ethan. The one you chose, you must bear the consequences yourself. Don't say I didn't warn you. If in the future you dare mention past events again, tarnishing the Shen family's reputation, I won't be polite with you. My grand wedding day, the entire city overflowed with joyous colors. The crown prince's establishment of his principal consort was a major event for the entire nation. I donned the phoenix robe of the crown princess, sitting and waiting for the crown prince to fetch his bride. Margaret looked at me, her eyes suddenly reddening. If I hadn't been foolish back then, the one becoming crown princess today might have been me. I looked at her and smiled faintly. Elder sister, once a mistake is made, no matter how much you regret, you cannot turn back. Half of the Shen family's glorious future rests on my shoulders. As for you, you can only bow beneath my feet, calling me your highness. Though you're the legitimate eldest daughter of the Prime Minister's manor, in father's eyes, you no longer have any value. Margaret's complexion turned ashen. She slumped into a chair. Outside, the wedding attendant called out loudly, "The crown princess departs." The door opened. The crown prince, dressed in bridegroom's ceremonial robes, stood outside. He took my hand and helped me onto the bridal palanquin. From today forward, I am the crown princess of the Eastern Palace. In the future, I will become the empress of the nation, second to one person, above 10,000. By then, no one will be able to shake my position, not even that father sitting high above. After marrying into the Eastern Palace, on the third day I returned to my maiden home. The entire manor knelt to welcome the crown prince and me. The entire Shen clan rejoiced, welcoming us into the manor. While we were chatting pleasantly, outside suddenly rang out wretched sobbing. Margaret, covered in injuries, came crying and rushing in. It turned out Ethan had truly taken a concubine. Specifically that concubine's daughter named Autumn Kiao, with principal wife ceremony. Moreover, when Autumn entered the household, she was already pregnant. Margaret was furious. The next day she immediately established rules, forcing her to kneel for 2 hours when serving tea. As a result, Autumn miscarried. Ethan flew into a thunderous rage, beat Margaret severely, and even threatened to divorce her. Margaret cried and returned manor to file a complaint. When she saw the crown prince and me sitting there, she immediately pretended to be pitiful. "Your Highness, Vivian has been immature since childhood. Did she say anything bad about Ethan to you? Did she advise you not to let his examination be selected? It's precisely because she interfered that my husband failed the examination." I trembled with anger looking at her. Elder sister thinks the crown prince is someone easily swayed by slander. You are a pillar of the nation. Honest and discerning, how could you show favoritism because of my words? Moreover, the inner palace is not permitted to interfere in politics. I never said a single bad word about Ethan in front of the crown prince. The crown prince supported me, gently comforting. Vivian needn't be angry. What kind of person she is, I know better than anyone. Then he turned to father. Prime Minister, though the eldest miss is married, she's still a member of the Shen family. You must discipline her strictly. Vivian is her younger sister and also my crown princess. If her crude words spread outside, wouldn't that cause the crown princess to lose face? Father hastily nodded, his face dark as a pot bottom. Drag the eldest miss out. From now on, without my permission, she is not permitted to step into the manor even half a step. You're already married. You should stay peacefully at home, serve your parents-in-law, and raise children. If there's nothing important, don't return home on your own. Margaret was expelled from the manor. When Ethan learned of this, he treated her even more like heir, staying only in Autumn's room, not deigning to glance at her even once. Margaret went mad. From somewhere she obtained a sterilization pill, put it in tea and forced Ethan to drink it. By the time he discovered it, it was too late. Even the renowned physician of Rejuvenation Hall shook his head. From then on, the Lin family had no heir. Ethan, citing lack of virtue as one of the 7 grounds for divorce, sent Margaret back to her maiden home. The Shen family couldn't tolerate a woman who sterilized others. They wouldn't let her through the door. Only mother pitied her, giving her a pouch of silver and having someone take her to a nunnery, to let her repent for the errors she had caused. For the rest of her life, she could only live in solitude at the Buddhist temple gates. In the 2nd year, I became pregnant with the crown prince's child. His Majesty and the Empress were overjoyed, bestowing countless gold, silver, and jewels. They even permitted me to return home to visit my parents. Father sat below, extremely respectful. I sat in the seat above, looking down at him with a slight smile. Whether in my previous life or this one, father has always been cold-hearted and callous. Even his own daughters could be discarded like garbage. But this time, I held the knife first. From now on, I won't let anyone tear me apart again, even if that person is my own father. 1 year later, I gave birth to the Emperor's eldest grandson. His Majesty was overjoyed beyond measure. For this legitimate grandson, moreover the crown prince's son, he immediately decreed a great amnesty for the realm. At the first birthday celebration of the Emperor's eldest grandson, my father, as the maternal grandfather, had to kneel at the feet of the crown prince and me. I held my head high, my resplendent phoenix robe sweeping past him. I stepped into a place he could no longer control, reaching the highest position above 10,000. In this life, I finally grasped my own destiny. In a world where family loyalty should reign supreme, this tale reveals a darker truth: even blood ties can become chains of manipulation. True power lies not in birthright or privilege, but in recognizing when you're merely a pawn in someone else's game. The greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's reclaiming your destiny from those who sought to write it for you, transforming from victim to victor through resilience and strategic wisdom. The story ends here for now. If it touched your heart or left you thinking, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.